It was a cold winter morning when Arian sat on the park bench, staring at the ground, his breath visible in the freezing air. He had lost everything. His business had collapsed, his friends had abandoned him, and his savings had dried up. The world felt like a cruel place, and he was tired of fighting, tired of hoping, and tired of failing. As he sat there, an old man approached and sat beside him. The man had a warm smile, a thick white beard, and wise eyes that held years of experience. After a moment of silence, he spoke. "You look troubled, son. What's weighing you down?" Arian sighed, hesitant to share his burdens with a stranger. But something about the old man's voice made him open up. "I've failed," Arian admitted. "I worked so hard to build my business, and now it's gone. Everything is gone. I don't know what to do anymore. I feel weak." The old man chuckled softly. "Ah, failure. That old friend." Arian frowned. "Friend? How can failure be a friend?" The old man leaned back on the bench, looking at the sky as if recalling a distant memory. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "There was once a young warrior named Karen. He was strong, determined, and had trained for years to become the greatest fighter in his kingdom. He dreamed of winning battles and making his name legendary. One day, his kingdom was attacked, and he was called to war. Karen fought bravely, but the enemy was stronger. His army was defeated, and he barely escaped with his life. Wounded and humiliated, he fled into the mountains, his heart heavy with shame. For days, he wandered, lost in despair, believing he was weak. "I was supposed to be the strongest warrior," he told himself. "But I failed." Just as he was about to give up, he stumbled upon an old hermit who lived in a small hut. The hermit saw Karen's wounds and offered him shelter. "I see the fire in your eyes," the hermit said. "But it is dimmed by doubt. Why are you here instead of fighting for your kingdom?" "I fought," Karen said bitterly. "And I lost. I am not strong enough." The hermit smiled and handed Karen a piece of metal and a hammer. "Strike this metal," he ordered. Karen hesitated but did as he was told. He struck the metal once, twice, thrice. The metal bent but did not break. The hermit took the metal from him and placed it in a blazing fire. After some time, he pulled it out and handed Karen the hammer again. "Now strike." Karen hit the metal, and this time, it changed shape. The hermit nodded. "This is you," the hermit said. "Failure is your fire. Each time you fall, you are being shaped, made stronger, refined into something greater." Karen's eyes widened as he understood the lesson. He had seen failure as the end when it was merely the process of transformation. Determined, he returned to his kingdom. He trained harder, learned from his mistakes, and built a new army. When the enemy attacked again, he was ready. This time, he led his kingdom to victory, proving that his past failure was only the beginning of his true strength. The old man turned to Arian with a knowing smile. "You see, my boy, weakness is not the absence of strength. It is the forging of it. Every great person you admire has failed at some point, but they did not let it define them. They used it to grow." Arian sat in silence, the story sinking into his heart. He had been looking at his failure all wrong. He wasn't weak. He was simply in the fire, being shaped into something stronger. The old man stood up. "Your story isn't over, son. It's just beginning. Now, rise and forge yourself anew." For the first time in weeks, Arian felt something stir inside him. Hope, determination, strength. He stood up, ready to fight again.